Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining me on another episode of The Fast Lane, your podcast for success. I'm your host, Derek Lane. Thanks for being with me. I appreciate your listenership. Let's talk about success strategies a little bit today. Let's talk about goals and how to set strategies. And one of the first things I'm going to ask you to think about is, what is your strategy? What is your success strategy? What does it look like? If you have a place that you're trying to get to in life, if you've got a destination, what does that destination look like? And what's the journey along the way look like? Is it hard times? Do you believe that your success is built upon hard times, stress, and strife? Do you believe that your success has to be one of toil and labor? Or do you believe that your success gets easier as you go along? That's what I hope you believe. Because if you're doing things the right way, it should get easier for you. Not all the time. Of course there's bumps on the road. There always is. Unexpected things, unexpected people. So know what your strategy looks like. Know what your journey looks like. Expect the unexpected, but yet move forward. Continue to go. Oftentimes we have to do things differently. Oftentimes we've got to stop, take a look around at what's going on with us, what we've done, and is it moving us forward at the rate we want to go, or is it a slow snail speed crawl? Sometimes we have to understand that. Sometimes we have to make those changes and try something different. I would encourage you on your path and on your strategy to succeed that you make it one of knowledge, not of BS. That only gets you so far, and you tend to ruin a lot of good strategies by not really knowing where you're going or how you're going to get there and what you're doing. You always need to have a solid foundation, a plan of action. You need to have that, what am I doing today, what am I doing tomorrow, attitude. What am I doing next week? What am I doing next month? What am I doing next year? And those can change, and you know, they probably should at some point. However, you've got to have something down. You've got to have something to look forward to. You can't get where you're going if you don't know where you're going. Always lead by example. If you want people to trust in you, you have to show that you can be trusted. You always have to have go-to people as well. Now, I'm going to contradict that just a little bit by saying that your journey is your journey. It's your path. It's what you want for yourself. I hope that's the case. I hope your journey isn't what someone else wants for you, because typically that ends up bad. But your journey should be your journey, and it should be yours to achieve, because once you achieve your journey and then you want to move on to the next journey, the next success strategy, it just makes it that much sweeter. It makes it that much more confident that you have the ability to do it. And you do have the ability to do it. Sometimes you just have to prove it to yourself. But it has to be you. Getting back to, you need to have people to fall on. Sometimes things get tough, things get a little rocky and shaky, and we have to have people that we can count on. We need those people in place, and you need to know who they are. Unequivocally, who shares your goals and your dreams, and who wants the best for you. Not just who will listen and then do nothing, or someone that sometimes is a little envious and likes to steer you in the wrong path. So make sure you know who you're sharing things with and who your support mechanisms and your networks are. Okay, moving on. Take a look at what you already have. There's your starting point. Every day, know where you're at. Know what you've got. You know, when I first started this podcast, I didn't have a podcast. Now I do. So now when I do a podcast, I've got my programs, I've got my microphones, I've got the mechanisms in place. It's not near as cumbersome for me to do this because this is what I have. Now, next year, I may have a different schematic setup to do this podcast or whatever I'm doing in life. You know, when I go out and talk to a group of people, I may do it in a different way, a different venue. I don't know. but I know what I've got right now, and I can tweak that. I can try to make it better. There's no sense in scrapping things that are working for you. You're not going to leap over hurdles by getting rid of the foundations you've already built. So know what you have and take stock in it right now. Be ready to change your course if you need to. If you're doing, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, trying something different. If you need to do something different, be acceptant of the fact that you can change, and you're willing to change, and you're willing to do what it takes. And sometimes those are hard decisions, but you're that person. You can make hard decisions. You can make tough decisions. I've had in my journey as of late, I've had to make a few tough decisions and wonder if they were the right ones or the wrong ones. Well, sometimes we just make them and we go on. If they were right, great. If they were wrong, it's okay. We'll correct it down the road. But be willing to make decisions. Be willing to change your course if needed. Be willing to add confident people to your network. Be ready to share your success. That's important too. Make sure that you know how to share your success. But ultimately, your success pattern, your journey, your path, it's on you. No one's going to do it for you. You shouldn't want them to anyway. You want to do this. But you got to be tough. You got to be a very tough individual. You can't cater to everyone. It's impossible. You'll get stretched out and strung out and not know which way to go. Know who you are and know your values. Align yourself with your beliefs. Always updating, creating, and maintaining who you are. Not being fooled or hoodwinked by people. Know who you are and be a leader in that regards. But it's all on you. You've got to set out and make those decisions and take those actions to get where you want to go. Settling is giving in. Sometimes it feels like if you just settle for something, that may be the easiest way to go. But just remember, you're settling. You're not really achieving where you want to be. You're not really achieving what you set out to achieve if you want to settle. So settling is giving in. Make sure that you know how to network. It's very, very important to make sure that you're networking with folks, that you're getting out there, you're communicating, you're interacting, you're building your brand. Next point. What is your brand? Do you have a brand? Do you want a brand? You should. You should look forward to creating that brand, nurturing that brand, because branding yourself is what gets you noticed. It's what's going to get you out there and have more and more people respect you. You do things the right way. You do things the legal way. You do things above board. Continue to work your brand, and the law of inertia will take over and start pushing you, and all of those subconscious goals that you have and those goals that you have written on paper will start to come to fruition one by one, day by day, week by week. And I promise you, you'll look back at the past year and you will smile. You'll have a big laugh going, wow, I didn't know how I was going to achieve all of these things, but I wrote my goals down anyway, and here I am. I've achieved 90% or 80% or 100%. And it's because I did the things that I need to do. I wrote down the things that matter to me. I figured out a strategy. I learned how to measure that. And I learned how to properly set goals. I learned how to properly create a success strategy and a path. You need to always be engaged. You've got to be engaged with you and the people around you. You can't take your foot off the gas. You've got to constantly, obviously you want a good night's sleep and you want to balance what you do, with some downtime and with your family and all of that. That's I'm not saying that you have to 24/7, but when you're working, you're working. Okay? When you start in on the things that you need to do the things you need to do. Be engaged. Never miss an opportunity to communicate. Communicate who you are, where you are, what you are. Always be willing to communicate that you're here to help, that ultimately your success path is one of good righteousness, that you seek your success by the good of everyone else, including yourself. Communicate with everybody all the time. Make sure that you stay in tune with the changes that are going on around you in your world, in your personal life. You have to stay abreast of what's going on. And, sometimes you have to take the temperature of the people around you, the things that matter to them. You may be able to speak about something over here when they're not ready to hear that. What they want to hear is over there. If you don't know how to talk about over there, they're not going to listen to over here. You have to be ready to adapt. You have to be ready to accept which way the wind is blowing, so to speak. Doesn't mean that you quit and you stop and you never talk about something because no one wants to listen to it. It just means that you know how to effectively communicate with some of the things that matter to the group or the people or the person that you're talking to. It means that you know how to communicate properly, and if need be, you know how to shift conversations back to the things that are more important that they may not realize, but you're great at making segues into conversations that allow people to understand and follow along not only with your success path, but assisting them with their success path. And that's ultimately what you're going to do. You're going to help people in their success path as they're going to help you with your success path. Because it can't just all be about you. Yes, I said that it's all on you. It's not all about you. Okay? It's all on you. Because if you say, man, I want to be successful, and I'm just waiting for, my rich uncle or whoever to throw some cash on me so I can buy new equipment, and again, go back and start with what you have now. Go back and start with what you have right now and start with your success path, your journey. No more waiting. No more procrastinating. It is on you. It's on you, but it's not about you. Okay? Well, listen, if you're listening to this, I know that you are serious about your success, and you're serious about the path that you're on. You're serious about succeeding and enjoying life to its fullest. You're serious about freedom and being able to do the things that you love in life. You're serious about doing those things without fear, without the I can't because of this, I can't because of that. You can because you deserve it. You can because you found a way to do it. Okay, so it's on you. I appreciate the fact that you guys are listening to this, and I know you're serious, and I appreciate that you come back and you listen to it again and again and again, and hopefully some of the messages, some of the things that I've said will spark something in you that go, oh yeah, I like that a lot. Let's do that. Share this podcast with people that you feel that could benefit from anything that I've said. Share this podcast. Leave positive reviews. You can find this podcast on iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever it is. You can reach out to me, Derek at FastlanePodcast.com. Derek at FastlanePodcast.com. I apologize. I switched my server, and it took a couple of weeks actually. So for the folks that I'm a little behind on responding, I will fully respond to you, and I appreciate the reach out. Derek at FastlanePodcast.com. You're meant to have a great life. Don't forget that. Thanks so much. Have a blessed one.